Welcome to today's explainer. We are jumping right into a rapidly escalating geopolitical situation based on some seriously intense claims recently presented by the YouTube channel tleThe. We're going to impartially map out their analysis of the Middle East, a situation they claim is spiraling totally out of control and threatens to trigger a massive global domino effect. Okay, let's dive right into this. Get ready for a great war. I mean, talk about a heavy way to start things off, right? That is the exact chilling quote used to open the source material. It's a stark warning that immediately establishes the extremely high stakes of their predictions. The source argues that we're no longer looking at localized skirmishes. No, they claim we are standing on the absolute precipice of a conflict that will drag in multiple world superpowers and disrupt the entire global order. So, what exactly triggered all these alarm bells? Well, according to their reporting, the main catalyst is that Iran has officially and completely walked away from the negotiating table. The source claims that all back-channel messages, all those diplomatic ties, even the ones facilitated through countries like Pakistan, have been entirely canceled. The ceasefire, they argue, is literally being torn to pieces. Let's look closer at this in Section 1. Iran's refusal of negotiations. The channel claims that the instant this refusal hit the news, bam, global markets reacted violently. We're looking at descriptions of immediate economic panic, oil prices instantly spiraling out of control, the gold market beginning to crash, and widespread fear sweeping right through the financial sector. The analysis paints a picture of a global economy that was entirely unprepared for this sudden shock. Moving right along to Section 2, main causes of the breakdown. So how did we get here? The source lays out a very specific timeline of provocations. According to their reporting, this all started around Eid with an initial U.S. attack, followed up by Iranian retaliation. Then, the situation degraded even further when Israel reportedly captured and planted a flag in a specific area of Lebanon. And to top it all off, the channel asserts that Donald Trump completely altered the agreed-upon terms of the deal, replacing them with brand new demands that Iran just outright rejected. It essentially boils down to this massive stalemate. On one side, you have U.S. and Israeli military strikes, operations in Lebanon, and shifting diplomatic goalposts. On the other side, you've got Iran's strict prerequisites, a complete ceasefire in Lebanon, and total adherence to the original terms. The source argues that because the U.S. and Israel failed to meet these preconditions, Iran felt completely justified in walking away, holding Israel and its allies entirely responsible for the collapse. Which brings us to Section 3, Red Sea and oil crisis. The source warns that this conflict is about to physically manifest in the oceans. The analysis points out that Iran has made it crystal clear they plan to completely block two of the world's most critical maritime choke points, the Strait of Hormuz and the Bab-el-Mandeb Strait. This isn't just about regional control, guys. The report insists this is a highly calculated move to just strangle global trade. To really highlight the sheer economic volatility here, the source cites a highly specific warning allegedly coming from ExxonMobil. The claim is that within just 3 weeks, oil prices could experience unprecedented and catastrophic volatility, potentially hitting $10 a barrel. I mean, think about what that kind of unprecedented market shock would do to your daily cost of living. Whether implying a massive market collapse or just wild price instability, the analysis uses this figure to underscore their prediction of total economic devastation. And the crucial point is why this maritime region is so vital. Roughly 10% of the entire world's oil supply travels through these specific routes. By shutting down these straits, the source argues that a massive fraction of global energy is instantly taken off the board, creating an absolutely unmanageable pressure cooker for the global economy. Here is the exact domino cascade predicted by the source. Step 1, the straits close. Step 2, because of the closure, pipeline oil transit effectively halts. Step 3, Europe instantly loses access to all Gulf oil. And finally, Step 4, a complete global economic lockdown. Without oil, the report argues, production stops, logistics fail, and the whole world economy entirely collapses. So, looking at this total nightmare scenario, It begs a really massive question. What is the challenge for America now? If this global economic lockdown is truly on the horizon, how on earth do Western superpowers navigate a trap of this magnitude? Let's unpack that in Section 4, America and Europe's Dilemma. The geopolitical chessboard here is incredibly complex, according to their analysis. The U.S. risks getting permanently trapped in a Red Sea conflict they just cannot exit. Europe is facing a devastating reality with zero Gulf oil. Meanwhile, the source asserts that Iran isn't acting alone. They're implicitly backed by Russia and China, who are supposedly just sitting back, waiting to capitalize on the West's missteps. Actually, adding to all this international pressure is a really heavy layer of domestic politics. The source argues that Trump's decision to suddenly alter the deal terms was driven by sheer political desperation. With U.S. midterm elections looming, the analysis claims that backing down from Iran would be viewed as a massive failure, one that could entirely consume and destroy his political career. And Europe's situation? It's portrayed as equally desperate. They face a literal impossible choice. They must either jump entirely into a massive catastrophic war alongside America to try and secure the Strait of Hormuz, or, to survive their energy crisis, they'll have to say goodbye to their American alliance and succumb to Russian influence just to keep the lights on. Finally, let's look at Section 5. What will be the impact? The channel is warning its viewers to prepare for extreme worst-case scenarios. If this conflict fully erupts, the report predicts a war vastly more severe than anything we've seen recently. They claim we're going to witness unprecedented maritime blockades, the destruction of vital microchip supply chains, and even widespread global internet outages. They really emphasize that this won't be a quick skirmish, but rather a prolonged, devastating conflict that wraps the whole globe in chaos. Which leaves us with this final, honestly chilling thought presented by the source. With negotiations officially dead and the red lines seemingly crossed, will the final decisions now be made entirely by missiles and drones? The source argues that the era of boardroom diplomacy is basically over, and the future will now be dictated by automated warfare on the streets and in the skies. It's a heavy, provocative perspective from Hakika TV for sure, and one that absolutely forces us to critically examine the fragile trajectory of our global geopolitics. What do you think happens next? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning the world around you.